You're all a group of adventure types who are in the city of Lankhmar, and you sit around a dirty pub table, drinking your cheap beer, and wondering how you are going to get rich.
Well, lads, I think we should find a local caravan, wait till it's halfway between the next two towns, and jack it.
Let's just go to the pub and spend your money.
Well, that's what we do every night.
No wrong with that.
Right, as
Well,
you
actually, no. I'm apparently a mute, so all I go is.
no way, are you?
Yeah, apparently I have no tongue.
Uh,
Are
that
you
is
Bert?
fantastic. He's caught the street tough.
Yeah, what Cod said.
I'm Bert.
He's Bert the cat burglar, Earl, who is poor because he burgles cats and then has to feed them.
You should learn to read. Your job description would make much more sense if you did.
Oh, come on, Governor. I just like a bit of pussy. Doesn't everybody?
Good point. Very good point, Cod.
So, as you
Bad one, I look at yours.
as you sit there in your cups bemoaning the world and how it's so sad that you're poor, over swaggers a gentleman dressed in dark clothing. You recognise that he's wearing a thief's cloak as he swaggers over the table and looms above you, and holding a dagger in his hand, sort of idly stabs it into the table next to you. And he says, "You boys look like you're looking for a job."
What he said.
I know you, Bert, failed thief. Clovis. You know Clovis. Clovis is the guildmaster of the Thieves Guild.
Casa now.
Clovis, he wants you and your boys here to come down and meet him at the Silver Ale, post haste like. He's not a man to be kept waiting, if you know what I mean.
Okay, come on, lads. Let's go to the Silver Ale.
Okay, then, Bert.
That is never going to get old.
I'll put the broken bottle back on the table that I had in my other hand under the table while we were talking to the thief.
You had it pointed at his bollocks.
Yeah, I'm taking dirty fighting to real seriousness.
So it's caught a bit like that big bloke from Hot Fuzz then.
Kind of, I guess.
Yeah, why not?
I didn't know you didn't have a tongue.
Right?
Who said you don't have a tongue?
It says in the bugger. It says, "Caught was changed to pit fighter. His tongue was removed by a brutal master. Eventually, he found freedom. He made his way to the city of thieves. Then he made blah 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 blah. Although Caught is unable to speak, he has mastered a vocabulary of gestures and grunts. Those travelling with Caught for any length of time are quickly able to learn his form of communication, relinquishing the need for any smart tools."
Well,
cool.
I'll turn round and look. Yeah, you're right, and I'll light him a cigarette.
Okay,
He's my
I go.
bookie.
Yeah.
Don't you speak, Court?
Yeah.
See what he said. He doesn't.
Court's
My
all right
friend
as
here
far
doesn't
as
like to
I'm
look at you.
concerned. He saved my life once.
Yeah, he's like the Bud Spencer character in They Call Me Trinity movie, except he's got no tongue.
So it's a great other point where somebody goes, "Make a fast talk roll about."
So
your character's also got to tell the best jokes. Smack him on the back. Oh my god, you're killing me, man. You're killing
So you finish your drinks up as this thief, who doesn't leave his name, swaggers off in the manner of all Lankhmar guild thieves. They think they're better than everybody else. As he walks through the bar, people turn their head away from him, won't look him in the eye, but keep their hand firmly upon their purses.
Well, we best head to the Silver Eel then.
The Silver Eel is not far away, maybe 15 minutes walk. It's a well-known establishment. It's one of the big two pubs in Lankhmar, the other being the Golden Lamprey. It is rumoured, in fact, that Fafford and the Grey Mouse, and often when in Lankhmar, will take cups at the Silver Eel. So you swagger off through the dark, foggy night and arrive at the Silver Eel well past witching hour. Of course, the lights are still on. The bouncer stands at the bar, at the door, nods to court in recognition. All right, Cot, when are you going to stop wandering the streets and come and get a job with us, get a proper job? He says, yeah. He's a big burly bloke and he's like hanging about with like these little weedy fellas here. And that one, he smells of cats.
Yeah.
Oh well, have a good drink, mate. And he pats you on the shoulder. Of all the things I thought you'd change, I was like, oh, he has no tongue. So the bouncer stands to one side. And you presumably head into the eel?
Yep.
Yeah.
Right, 'tis a lively night spot. The servant maids run round with jugs of corked wine, and
Is it karaoke night?
it is karaoke night, in fact, yes.
Oh, great. That'll be.
And several.
Oh, the car wash. You do a really good car wash.
And
If he gets up to sing, I'll stand next to him and sign what he's singing.
And I'll dance.
So as you go over, the minstrel sitting near to the low stage is like, Cort, you want to sing the usual? And he takes his lute and begins to strum the tune. And what do you think, car wash, dear?
No. Welcome to the jungle.
Right.
Next, I'm taking my fingers.
And I'm back. I'm a backing dancer then.
Right. Well, give me some rolls then. We'll have. We'll have Davey. We'll have a agility roll for you dancing, and agility roll for the signing. And what else is people doing?
My fingers.
Right. Well, actually, they're all a success because you only need a 4 in Savage World. So there's a great round of applause as you sing "Welcome to the Jungle." Would you care to give us a small demonstration, a line or two there, Cort? Oh my god! Right. So this is standing ovation as everybody has passed their things, and then you hear a slow clap from the back. And sitting at a table near the back in a wide open spaces, quite obviously Krovas. Everybody gives him a wide berth, except for the servants' wenches who look fearfully at him as he sits in the corner. I am very entertained, gentlemen. Now, if you would care to step into my office, and he indicates the chairs around the table. He says, Maggie, bring these gentlemen a jug of wine.
Much appreciated, boss.
Yeah, I'll take a chair.
So you pull a chair up. Anybody else?
I'll sit down.
Yourself.
So you three of you pull yourselves up to the table, and Krovas begins to speak. He does that thing where he looks at the back of his hands as he does it, and then kind of picks his nails. He says, "'Tis my understanding that you fellows need an evening's employment."
Wouldn't go to waste.
He says, "You're in luck then, because you're exactly the sort of chaps that I could do with employing." He says, "I was betrayed by members of the Slayers Brotherhood. It is a black stain upon their guild, but I do not wish to raise the issue with their betters. That might cause the property they took from me to fall into the wrong hands. I want you to find 3 Slayers named Tanawin, Smald, and Guildford. I have it on good authority that they are close by, but I not want to be seen asking for their whereabouts. Find them and recover a black skull, you will know the foul thing. It's worth 20 gold rilks apiece for you, and another 10 if you teach them a lesson that others will be sure to pay attention to in the future. And I shall await you at the Silver Eel here."
The Black Cover. Is that a pub?
The black cover? No.
You said you could find them at the
It's a black stain upon their guild, I'd said.
ah.
He jangles a rather heavy-looking purse at his belt. He says, "I'm good for the money, but I'm sure you gentlemen know that." "20 gold rilks is quite a lot of wine money."
That's my favourite kind of money.
Quite a bit of cat food as well. Have I actually heard of them before this?
Make a general knowledge roll.
I don't have a skill unless Streetwise does, Fort.
Everybody should have general knowledge. They haven't done it correctly. Yeah, go into the library, Swede player guide, skills, and drag yourself common knowledge onto your character sheet. Because everybody should have common knowledge.
Yeah.
The 3, you have not heard of them, Magnus. Neither has Bert the cat. So they can't be big time players because you've never heard of them. Oh, Court gets a raise.
I can't find that skill at all. In fact, I can't find any of them.
Yeah, I'll drag it up.
Oh, knowledge.
Common knowledge under skills.
Knowledge.
Drag it on your character sheet and drop it on your skills bit.
The clueless guy is the only one who made the roll. I love it.
Yeah, and I had a -1 on it.
do I type in common knowledge?
Yeah,
Oh,
I've dragged it over for you. You just drag and drop. Everybody should have athletics as well. Nobody's got athletics. Everybody drag athletics.
Right, hang on.
If you've got climbing, then you should have athletics at that level anyway. Because I know what they've done. These are the old style stats. You know? So you've got climbing and swimming and stuff instead of just having athletics.
So do we still pull athletics on or
Mhm.
what?
Yeah, drag it on. Drag it on, and then if you've got climbing, like Andy's got a D6, you just drag the D6. Oh, sorry, you've got a D6. Drop it on there, Dave. So yeah, Magnus got a D6 athletics. Has not.
I do just love the way that the only bloke who actually made the roll can't tell the rest of it.
Yeah. So none of you have heard of these scroats, so they can't be major players. However, Court, you've heard of them, and they're basically a bunch of strong arms. They're not even proper slayers that work. They do tough jobs for small amounts of money.
Basically, just hired.
Just hired muscles, not proper slayers. The Slayers Guild is actually the front name for the Assassins Guild. These guys are not good enough to be assassins. They're just a bunch of strong arm thugs, basically.
All right, well, I'll let the other guys know.
Now, go on then. It's role playing, isn't it?
Oh God! I'll just write it down.
I thought you were illiterate.
Oh
oh
God,
come
I
on,
am.
you've got to do it.
All right,
And I'll be
all
like,
right. I'll just put a big X on a bit of paper and go.
all right, so they're like not even good enough to be the Assassin's Guild then.
Yeah, because remember that people can understand you. So they're like, you're like, all right, Wednesday. I see.
No, Skippy, he hasn't fallen down the well.
I forgot to put people on combat trackers and everything. Right, so yeah, Court grunts you that these are just a bunch of street thugs. What they're doing, stealing from Clovis the Guildmaster, or why he hasn't sending the guild boys in, you're unsure.
Did he say what was stolen?
A black skull.
Skull.
You will know the foul thing, he said.
I mean, being a bit on the cautious side, I can only presume he's not sending his own lads in because this thing is not exactly benign. And even if we are able to wrestle it off these hired muscles, so to speak, it might do nasty things to us, about which I will not be in the least bit bothered.
Whatever it is, doesn't sound good.
It's Lankhmar. It's never good, mate. That's the thing about it. It's never good.
True.
Well then, what are you doing then, girls? You're sitting about at a table. You've performed great karaoke. There's a string of karaoke coming across the multiverse, isn't there?
I think
Well-
I'll ask around the bar about these gentlemen because they owe me some money. And the cats need feeding.
Yeah. As your thief, your working clothes, shall we say, is always constantly covered in bits of cat hair that you can never quite get out. Right, well, I think you'd better make a persuasion roll then as you wander around. You've got streetwise. You've got a streetwise there, you can use that.
Yeah.
Right, so
I
you
just
wander around
like-
the bar asking various people. Oh, look at them dice explode. Well, we can't argue with that one, can we? That's a double raise, that. What about the rest of you? So as Bert grabs his wine flask and shoves these around the customers in the ale, what are the rest of you doing?
Sitting in the corner watching his back.
Yeah, I'll keep an eye on everybody.
Mhm.
I'll make sure the joke's close at hand, and so is the fork.
You love your dirty fighting cutlery, don't you? In Savage World, you actually get to do things with it.
Someone's getting forked today, boy.
Right, Dave, after about 10 minutes of asking about and buying the odd drink here and there, you meet up with a Weasley little guy who you've known on the street. And he's rabble rouser Ron, and he's like, "What? But yeah, I know them lads. They're in a townhouse over on Cheap Street there."
You wouldn't happen to know which one now.
Yeah. Go down by the alley, a turn left, and it's the third one on the right.
Thanks, Rabbi.
He says, "I seen him in there the other day when I was walking past with my put my posters up of politically incorrectness, and I seen one of them coming out that house."
Are you the guy who makes all the posters with the dicks on?
No, that's Poster Dick Dave. I'm Ron the Rabble Rouser. I post stuff like, down with the authority and fuck the police and that kind of thing.
Have we got any police?
Well, we have. They're just manipulations of the fascist state, aren't they? The overlord, he has his own secret police force. Is that your
You know what?
is that your fridge dispensing squirrels again?
Yeah.
Where you have you got a slogan?
I've been trying to think of one. Can any of you think of a decent slogan?
I've got a brilliant one. But you'll owe me a favour for it. All right.
Go on then.
Power to the people.
Power to the people. I like it. I live at Tooting Street, so it'll be like freedom for Tooting. I love it.
Well, nice to speak to you, Foxy.
How did you know what my mum used to call me?
Everyone knew your mum.
Except me dad, eh?
Well, he was blind in one eye.
Right, well, what do you do now?
I think we should have a wander around, find the chaps, have a look at what they're doing, and kill them all.
Right, so you head off down Cheap Street. It is well after the witching hour, so the streets are almost empty. Beady little red rat eyes glare at you from every dark corner, and the street is filled with fog. But that's just a normal night in Lankhmar, so nobody pays any attention to it. After about 15 minutes or so, you pull up in Cheap Street. But looking down the road, concealed on a street corner, it's a rickety 5-story building. The area's mostly quiet. Although you do hear the scuffling of rats down from a side alley.
I think we should check the back of it to see if it's got a back door.
Right. It's okay, Dave. So you just stride round the back, yeah?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So you're in a side alley next to the house. There you go, chaps. Our first, maybe, share record.
Oh yes, I've got it.
Can you see it? Because I can't actually, because normally it displays a little picture of you lot on.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. There's no indicator to say you've got the map.
We got the map.
Right. You're in a dark alley. So you're going to head down south, down the alleyway, yeah? Bert?
Yeah.
I'll whisper before he goes and go, we could just set a light to the building and kill them when they run out the door.
Right. Bert strides confidently down the alley. The trash in the alley just crunches and splashes as he walks down. And you look around the corner, you peek around the corner, and there is indeed a back door. You can see there is a front door from where you're standing.
Yeah, well, I shall stealth my way to the back door.
A 5. Ooh, look at that +2 there, kicking in. Right, so you creep up to the back door. The DM goes, hold on a minute, I forgot to put doors in. Bloody hell. Because I had to literally put the map together in about 10 seconds. So while he's doing that, and while I'm covering for myself and putting doors in, what are the rest of you doing? As he do you wave at them, Dave, and give them a hand signal to say like something, or what? Or do you just disappear around the corner? What do you do?
Well, I'm gonna nudge Court and suggest that we stop here, and then we'll nail any of them that come out the front door.
I nod.
As the DM rapidly draws in some doors. Look, Dave, you've got a door now. Right, Bert. So, Bert, are you giving a hand gesture, or are you just sneaking to the back door?
I give him a hand gesture. Come hither.
I'll give him a hand gesture.
Put a finger to my lips.
Put my finger to Court's lips. I'll quietly heavy rapier, because just in case.
Well, Krovas did want you to give them a lesson. But that's all he said, so.
Lesson. Is it a lesson, or are we murdering them all?
Well, I think we should strip them naked and chase them through the streets.
Right, can you all give me a common knowledge at -2? So what you do is where it's got the modifier box in the bottom corner, you type in -2. And then give me a common knowledge. Zero. That is the least knowledgeable person. 2 zeros.
What I miss? Oh, sorry. Ooh.
So we're up at the -2. Oh yeah.
Right, hang on.
Oh, sadly, dice exploded, but he's clueless. He's like, So we're just relying on you, Bert. Common knowledge.
I got a 0 as well.
Oh yeah, Bert, Lucas, and Court. But we're actually waiting for Andy.
Magnus.
Magnus.
Right, sorry. 2 seconds. Common knowledge?
Yes, at -2.
Oh,
So you got a 0 as well. Right.
well, that's a 0 as well. Then.
Yeah.
We're thick as fuck.
It's sadly. It was just to let you know that if you'd made it, you may have known the layout of the internal, because it looks like a standard townhouse for this part of Cheap Street. But obviously, you're not cheap enough to sleep in Cheap Street. Right, you've sneaked up to the door, Bert. And where's everybody else moving? Lucas? That's you.
Not very sneaky, so I'm just going to hang back.
Are you standing there in the middle of the alleyway, though, or are you moving further down? Or
I've sort of moved down a little bit, and
if you don't have sneak, you use your unskilled. There's an unskilled button at the bottom.
in that case, I'm just going to push myself up against the wall and wait.
Okay. With a rapier in one hand and a fork in the other. Somebody's getting forked tonight. Okay, so far there's no noise. There's no sound. Occasionally you'll hear a dog bark in the distance or the howl of a cat. But nobody comes to the door. What do you do?
Does this door appear to have a lock?
It does. Most places in Lankhmar that are not wanting to be robbed every night have a lock. It is quite a crude lock, however.
If you needed picking, just give us a whistle.
I'll pick the lock.
Right. Oh yeah, you've got loads of lockpicking, haven't you? 5, it's a success. So you slide your lockpick in and rake about, and it's a very crude lock, luckily, and it gently clicks open. Can you make a stealth roll? Yes. Luckily for you, there's no sound of alarm or anything like that as the lock quietly clicks up.
I shall open the door a couple of inches and check to see if there's any like traps out like that.
Check to see if there's any tracks or traps.
Traps.
Tracks or traps?
Traps.
Traps. Right, so the door slides open a little bit, revealing an apartment inside. It is a mess of cheap furniture, empty wine jugs, and bits of leather.
I shall listen. Do I hear
Right.
anything?
You see somebody sitting on the floor with his back to you. The door is you've slid it open enough to look through, but not enough to think. You see the backs of 3 gentlemen. They're sitting down on the floor, and they're apparently chatting away to each other. So you're listening, yeah?
Yeah. Can I hear what they're talking about?
Yeah, the first one's like, I can't sleep. That thing's giving me the bloody willies. Every time I close my eyes, I get nightmares. Are you doing anything? Because you're standing there peeking around the door at the moment. By yourself.
I shall move stealthily to the corner and wave the others to
Are you pulling the door too?
just slightly. Just very slowly pulling the door.
Very good. Right, give us an opposed stealth roll. So to see if they notice, Dave, they get a 7. You get a 9. Right, so one of them turns partially around and goes, "Wait, did you hear something?" But then his mate goes, "No, don't be stupid. It's just that skull's got you jumpy." You look around, you hold your breath as like you're expecting any second for them to spin round. But holding your nerve and your urine, you slide the door. Slide the door too. And then you step to the edge, yeah?
Yeah.
So you creep along the... You creak along the wooden decking, avoiding all of the creaky bits. Go on, move yourself to the edge. And then Bert gestures you forward.
I will walk really slowly and as quietly as possible.
What about you two chaps?
Yeah.
Magnus and Court, or are you going in the front, or what?
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Actually, me and Court go in the front and you two go in the back. How's that? Me and Court could distract them.
I'll distract them by f***ing this shit out.
I'm not actually walking through the building, but I can't work out how to go. around
You have to move it up first and then to the right. That's it. And then you can move to the right, yeah, like that.
I shall attempt to stealthy down here.
Give us a stealth roll then. It's a failure, but it was almost it was almost a fumble. So you go down, Andy, and you step in some pretty smelly and soft dung, and let out a curse as you go down the thing. Just a soft curse under your breath, but loud enough to break the stealth. Court and Lucas head to the front door, and then Bert sneaks back to the door. And are you following him there, Andy?
Mm-hmm.
Magnus creeps up behind you. So I'm interested to see what the plan is here, because you have not. Give me each other a plan.
I have a plan. It's all right.
Right. So what is the plan then?
I'll knock on the door.
Right. Okay. Dave, that low mumble you'll hear because of the open door stops. One of them goes, "There's somebody at the bloody door." Anyway, the other one goes, "I heard that. Of course there is." So you see another one coming in from the left-hand side that you hadn't seen, and he walks up the door. He's holding in his hand a weapon of some kind.
I shall open the back door.
A cudgel. And he leans against the door and he says, "Who is it?"
It's me.
He looks, Dave, you see him look back at his mate, he goes, "Who the bloody hell's me?"
Do I hear him say that?
Make a persuasion roll versus his.
Can I make a taunt roll instead and say, "Just open the fucking door"?
Of course you can. A taunt versus his smarts. You get a 4. Actually, no, taunt against spirit, sorry. Oh!
Oops, that doesn't.
He goes, "Fuck off. You're at the wrong house." I mean it. Fuck off, or we'll come out and we'll hurt you.
I'll open the back.
Right, Richie, can I hear if is he standing literally right behind the door?
Make a perception roll. It's not perception, is it? It's notice. Make a notice roll. 4. Yeah, he sounds like he's right behind the door, whispering against the latch.
Sod
on.
this.
I
Fuck
want to
off.
sneak in.
I literally
You look like he's going to kick the door,
I
because if he
kicked
does,
the door in.
I'll shoulder it at the same time. Because I understood the grunt that said, I'm going to kick the door. This guy's got it on my tits.
Right, he goes, Right, we'll deal some action cards. Deal the wall. Wow. Slayer gets a joker this turn, so he can go any turn, and he's at +2. Dave, are you sneaking or are you running down?
Sneaking.
Because you can run and sneak. You tick the run button and then make your sneak roll, and you do get a penalty for running, but you can actually run quietly. Right, I need... right, so first up is Slayer, who can hold his action because he's got a joker. Court, you're up next, so you boot the door.
I broke the door.
Make a strength roll.
I assist him in doing this.
Right, so how are you assisting? You can either, so basically you can use any stat or any skill that you can justify. So if you both kick the door at the same time, you can both roll strength, or if you can think of another method or skill.
I'll shoulder barge the door with my left shoulder, so that if the door swings open, I can swing me heavy rapier right into the guy's guts.
Right, so what that is you roll a strength, and on a success, Court will get a +1, and on a raise, you get a +2. So you get a +1 Court. So at the moment you've failed to boot the door in because you've only got a 3, you can Benny that.
All right, I'll
three
Benny it.
bennies. Has everybody
I'll
got
Benny
bennies or not? No.
No,
No, nobody's got Benny.
I don't believe so. No,
Why has nobody got Benny?
I
No.
appear to be penniless.
Yep.
I'm sure there's a button to give everybody Benny. I also get 2 bennies. 4 bennies. There's 4 of you. Right, I should have done this earlier. Luke's has got 3 bennies. If you've got the lucky feet, you get 4 bennies, and if you've got the unlucky feet, you get 2 bennies. Right, so, sorry, you are all benny. I'm sure there's a button somewhere, but it's been so long since I've done Savage World 3, just to assign everybody a benny. Right, so if you want to re-roll that, you just grab a benny and drop it on your roll there on the chat. Should be.
Nope. Just said I'm used a Benny. Okay, I'll just reroll.
Yeah. +2. So that's a 6. So yeah, between the two of you, you kick just at the same time as Lucas barges, and the door flies open, striking the tough in the mouth and staggering him backwards. However, he's got the joker, so he's like, "Get him, lads!" So he takes a swing at you with his club. This is the... Oh, that's you. So that would be bad you hitting yourself, Chrissy. Stop hitting yourself. Stop hitting yourself. You'll have to bear with this because I'm a bit slow because we haven't done this right. Right, cudgel. So he swings at you, Court. He's only able to do this because he got the joker, so he can act at any point. Right, but he's rattled, so obviously he misses.
Okay.
Because your parry is a 7. It's kind of like armor class in D&D.
Yeah, I was going to say, is there any way I can use maybe fighting skill or something step under the blow or...
Yeah, it's your parry. You can also declare things like I'm parrying, I'm dodging, and things like that. Right, so he swings wildly, but he's missing and bleeding a little from his nose, and it's your turn. Right, you can take 1, 2, or 3 actions, but there's a cumulative -2 penalty for each action you take. So you can attack 3 times if you wanted, but each attack will be at -6.
I'll attack twice. I'll snap kick him and then go for a punch.
Right, so in the modifier box, you need to put, where it says one action, click two
Mhm.
actions. Click so it says two actions, yeah?
Yeah.
Right, so make your cudgel attack first.
Cudgel. I've got
Oh.
cudgel, I think. Nope. I've basically got my fists and that's it.
Have you? Oh, okay. What's your... You got an iron shod club. If you go on your character sheet and go down to combat.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So the
sorry,
dice on the left is the hit dice, which is a D10.
Okay.
And then the dice on the right is the damage. So first of all, right, that's a 1. It's not a fumble though, it's a 1. Do you want to Benny that, or do you want to...
No, I'll
You go for the kick. Right, so the fighting dice is straight up fighting dice. Holy crap, look at those dice explode. An 18. Right, so you hit with a raise. Roll your damage. It should automatically add an extra D6 on. It did not. Oh, because you didn't target the dude, that's why. Hit with a raise. Right, so that is 1 wound, which would take him out. So I am going to try and Benny that. Now, how I do that is spend a GM Benny. And yeah, so if you can remember to target it, it does all of the wounding and stuff.
Well, funny enough, the target that was directly behind the doors appeared on my map. I've only got the one that's on the right.
Are you sure you can't see Slayer 3?
Now, hang on, now that the door's open, yes, I can see 3, but it's 1 square down.
Right, well, I'll allow you to step 1 square forward.
Yeah.
There.
Okay.
And then target him. Right, and it's got hit with a raise, and then I drag my Benny from GM Benny's and drop it in the soak thing, apparently. Right, he fails.
Do you want to roll that extra D6 or not?
Right, so he's incapacitated, so what happens? You don't need to, he's incapacitated straight away.
Basically, punch him straight in the bloody, in his nose. Bam, get out.
Right, there's a loud crack, and he falls to the floor. But you can move up to your pace with no penalties. If you want to run, then you actually have to take the dice. So you move to the side.
And I'll stab the one that I've the Slayer to.
Go ahead,
with
give
my dagger.
Give it a stab. You hit. It's a wound. Oh no, should I take a Benny for that? I think I will attempt to soak it. And he goes down. So what happens to this one then, Dave, as you run up behind him with a dagger?
I stag him just in the
If you sit in the back of the head, I swear to God.
Right, I'll stab him in the heart from behind him. I've always got to stab him just at the base of his spine, at the back of the head, like, but you know.
Right,
we need to keep at least one alive.
He collapses to the ground. Lucas the Bravo is next on Queen of Spades.
I'll do one attack. Is this guy the one the door hit that's still up?
No, that's the one that's directly back when Court smashed him with the door, it pushed him back a square. So the one that you're standing adjacent to is the last one that's standing. You can see the little incapacitated things on the head.
I'll grin like I'm about to get me end away and just put me heavy rapier into his chest really hard.
If people are doing unarmed attack, you just use your straight fighting die and do your strength as damage. Okay?
Heavy rapier, so I'm
Yeah.
gonna hit him hard.
Yeah, he's holding the club, but he looks unprepared.
Is he targeted? Yes.
He is, yes. It's a hit. They've got pretty bad parry. Their reputation that Court came up with. Oh, look at those. Oh. 5 wounds.
Transfix him straight through his chest.
Yeah, I am not attempting to
straight
soak.
out.
I am not attempting to soak 5 wounds. Right, so you step forward, stab him straight through the chest. And he looks down as blood seeps through his cloak and he collapses to the floor. He collapses to the floor. What do you do now, gentlemen? You've incapacitated all 3. Just to the left of where Slayer 3 was standing, there's a pile of rags, and on top was the black skull. But as he'd been knocked backwards, the skull had rolled and had landed next to that table leg, next to Bert the cat there. But Andy, sorry, Magnus the last. You run up.
Yeah.
And sadly, your companions have already dispatched the Bravos.
Well, as they're dispatching the Bravos, can I sort of slide up here and scoop the skull up?
Yep. So you run forward. You see this black, evil-looking skull. It's a perfectly normal human skull, but the bone is actually black. It doesn't look as if it's painted. It doesn't look like it's been stained in any way.
Quick bio, bear it back.
Yeah. Does anybody want to grab a bio then while Bracey's bioing?
I'm all right.
I'm trying to hold a long bio.
He's trying to what?
Hold a long bio.
Why?
You don't want me to disappear for a long bio right now. I'll maybe go on all night.
I'd like to try and sort of slide a hand of the skull into this empty sack I've got and then tuck it under me cloak.
Yeah, go ahead. Make a stealth roll. 4. Excellent job. Yeah, so it doesn't even stop rolling. You scoop it up, presumably using the cloak to grab hold of it, and you scoop it up and tie it up in the corner of your cloak, so you don't touch it with your hand.
No, I had no intention of touching it.
Right, that was literally 1 hit and 3 guys down. Wow. Okay. They lie incapacitated on the floor. The Slayer 3's in the best way. Dave, were you going for the kill shot on Slayer 2?
No, just incapacitate them.
Because so you incapacitate them by stabbing them through the spine at the base of the skull. Then is this?
All right, so he's dead.
So he's dead. And 2, Earl, you pierced him through the heart, didn't you? Cleanly.
Yeah, it's literally I bisected his chest, went below his rib cage and up. He's not walking.
Yeah, so those 2 are dead, and so Slayer 3 is the one that caught punched clean in the face.
Do we, by any chance, hang them all from an upstairs window with a little rope round their ankles and just leave them? Surely that sends a message.
Yeah, especially if
Good.
aye.
Especially if you leave one of them alive to scream. Then again,
Exactly.
I could get creative.
Be my guest.
Right. Look around for some rope.
You look around for some rope. You find some rope. Yeah, they're a bunch of toughs, so they'll have rope for tying people up and getting their finger in their faces and intimidating them.
The dead ones, I'll throw the rope over a rafter and we'll lift them both up like pendulums.
Okay. You do that quite easily. What with Court's massive strength and everybody else's sheer bloody mindedness.
I think we should search them for money as well and take any
Oh,
weapons
well,
they got.
obviously. Well, you do that, mate, while I think of something creative for this one. You said you wanted an example, right?
There's there's a bunch of cheap furniture and cheap belongings and a couple of jugs of cheap wine. I'd say you're gonna find about 2d10 bronze eagles. So you find eight bronze eagles, which is like coppers. That's all
I'm
they've
gonna
got
make
on them.
Gonna make a dickhead sandwich. Watch this, boys. You know the lie. I'm gonna hang him the right way up by under his shoulders between the two corpses and then tie them together so they're like mummified. So he's basically a live person trapped with two dead people. And they're upside down, he's the right way up. Hanging from the rafters.
Right, so you perform this act of thing. Do you put anything else there? Are you?
Yeah, I'm gonna stab him in the arse with a fork.
You stab him in the arse with a fork. You are indeed a dirty fighter. You dirty fighter, son.
You might not want to start squealing till we've gone.
Oh,
He hasn't woken up.
he's still flat out. He's completely out.
Oh, we can go before the pain wakes him up.
I'd quite like to be there when he wakes up.
Make a lot of noise. I put one of his socks in his mouth.
You just pull off his raggy, dirty sock. There's like 3 toe holes in it, and you stuff them in his mouth.
I'll blow up his nose to make sure his airways are open. I don't want him to die. He won't be much of an example.
I don't know. They're pretty exemplified.
Have the other two with the dicks out pressing against his face.
That would be possible.
That's quite easy for you to do.
Why not? Then, before we leave, I'll set them rocking.
Right, so they slowly creak as they sway backwards and forwards. What have you got to say about this there, Court?
Fine,
That was open. Right, so looting them of their 8 bronze eagles and stringing them up. You take the skull. You can feel an evil presence coming from the skull. You're not sure if it's something that is in your imaginations or whether it actually is emanating evil.
I don't know. I don't care. Let's go and get paid.
Yeah. Right back to the ale.
Right.
So you emerge and cross the street. As you do, you see Crover standing across the street from you. He smiles and reaches out for the skull and then stops, and the smile drains from his face. A gentleman in a fancy robe and 2 street toughs stand before you. Crover slowly turns. The guy in the robe shouts, "What's going on here? Where's my skull?" Crovis replies, "Fellas, my friend. These thieves, they broke into your house during our festivities and took your strange bauble. My men tracked them here and I demanded their surrender. I see you've brought your own mine, so I let you handle it from here. Good night, my friend." And he turns and runs off into the alley, leaving an angry wizard and his 2 bodyguards.
All right, Cobber.
He says, "Give me the skull."
Yeah, all right. It's not ours. We were taking it off these guys. Is there a finder's fee?
He says, "You broke into my house and you stole my skull. Of course there's no finder's fee."
No, we didn't.
No.
Them lot did.
They did it. We took it off them.
I think I'm going to need some persuasion roll.
Can I be slowly sauntering forward, while gesticulating while talking?
You can. I'm just. I noticed they didn't actually put a straight map out to put characters on, so I'm just trying to randomly load the default maps as we speak, and then share. That is disconcerting, the fact that I can't see who can see the map and who can't. Right, so you are the grey on the street, and there is delete combatants. Right, so there is a wizard and there is his 2 vicious looking bodyguards, and they look
I'm
tough
tempted.
and they look angry.
Oh, I'm tempted.
Not a problem. You can have it, mate. I'll still walk forward.
Right, go on then. You walk forward.
Yeah, lads. Magnus, are you the one with the skull? Has Bert got it?
I think Bert's got it, and I shall
Bert?
wink. And I shall wink, so you know perfectly well that I've got it.
The wizard, with his long, pointy grey beard, looks back and forth at you. You do notice a strange smell as he gets close. As he gets close.
Just a minute. Do you want me to go and get it there, Bob? I'll turn around and say, Magnus, give it to him.
I'll take it out of me cloak and throw it to him.
Right, you make an athletics roll.
God, I could kiss you, Dave. Andy, even. I'll kiss you, Dave, but I could definitely kiss you, Andy.
Athletics, did you say?
Athletics, yes. Oh, it's good. You hurl the skull. Are you aiming it to the wizard, at the wizard, or to the side? Because you hit exactly where you want.
I'm throwing it high into the air.
Oh, you beautiful bastard. Sorry.
So that it arcs beautifully across, and it's going to land about 4 feet short of the wizard, so he's going to have to step forward and bend down to catch it.
Right, so this is not black, however. So about 4 feet, so about there. So he has to step forward. So he steps forward and greedily, his eyes gleaming, he steps forward and attempts to catch the skull.
Get up, Richie. As in, is his eyes watching the skull that he's got?
Oh yeah, yeah, absolutely.
Stab him to death.
You stab him to death. Right, he is great at agility, as you can probably imagine. Oh, he gets a 6. He catches the skull and he says, "It's mine, it's mine."
Can I charge him while he's trying to
dial
catch
some
it?
cards? You can. Dial those action cards. Oh, they go first.
Oh, that's
right.
Good.
Actually, no, court. No, I'm confused because some of the NPCs are green. Some of them are red. Right, court, the street tough. You go first. On ace of spades.
Right, how far can I
You move your pace. 6. So you could get to the wizard, or just short of the toughs, who are looking tough and are looking extremely competent, and have one of them has a dagger and a long sword. These guys have got real weaponry. These are not messing about.
I can reach that one, the S one. That's 6.
Kresh has. They're both wearing daggers and long swords. They've got their long swords out, but not their daggers. You could reach which one? Sorry.
S. The one on the left. Skell.
Yes, you could reach him. You could move your pace easily.
Okay. Go for him. And I crack the shit out of him with the club.
Right, I've got bad news for you. He's got an edge called First Strike. But as you can imagine, that'll be quite bad for you. If I'm right, it's one of those edges. They are twin brothers, Kreshmar and Skell. First Strike and Quick. Oh, these are bad men. And let me check First Strike in the player's guide. I believe it just means that they literally get the attack as soon as somebody moves next to them. Once per round, as long as he's not shaken or stunned, the hero gets a free fighting attack against the foe immediately after he moves into reach. That would be you. So, with lightning quickness, Skell whips his longsword out and attempts to stab you with it. Target you. Right, so he whips his longsword out and attacks. And misses. After all that, wow. It flicks forward. It flicks forward and misses you. Right, so target him and it's your turn, and you're going to smash his brains out.
Yep.
Just the one action, Mrs. Wembley. Is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
It misses. He dodges quickly out to the side. He's obviously an experienced fighting man. Bert the cat.
I shall move forward and stab the wizard with my dagger.
Very good. You run forward as he scrambles for the skull and you stab him. Target that vile man and bring him to justice. You hit. Roll your damage. It's a wound. He has, because he's a wild card, you'll notice these NPCs are actually rolling the D6s. He has his own bennies as well. What? He says? Yes, he has his own benny. So he's going to attempt to soak that wound. It succeeds. Right, so you stab through, it goes into his side, and you draw blood. He lets out a gasp, but you have not put him down as you soak the damage. Lucas the Bravo, you run to the wizard.
Is he targeted, by the way? Because
He is.
I will run him through while he's distracted. I will run him through with my heavy rapier.
Okay, roll your damage. Roll your hit, sorry.
I will use a Benny.
Right, so drag your Benny. Hang on, you can actually automatically re-roll now. How the hell do we do it?
Oh, yeah.
You drag it and drop it.
On the attack for the sword or weapon?
Oh, I dropped it in the chat.
Yeah, well, don't do that. So, because we need to figure this out.
Like that.
Yes. Oh, it's a hit. It's a good hit. Oh, 3 wounds. Right, he's definitely going to try and soak that bad boy. He's got one of his personal chaps adjusting. That's as small as I can make it. Yeah, that's kind of annoying. Yeah, can't make it any smaller than that. I might try to bigger than so that I can actually soak me words. And have a job soaking 3 like. Right, you managed just to twist to the side, not to be killed, but he is shaking. That means he can't act until he makes a vigor roll. And that is your turn. Next up we have Kreshmar. Kreshmar runs in and attacks you, Lucas, with his longsword. Dirty street rat. Can't trust them. It's a hit.
Do I get a parry or anything or not?
No. Once you hit, you can spend bennies to soak wounds if he does any wounds. You are shaken, so that is he's hit you like on the side of the head, not caused any damage, but you can't act until you are until you make a vigor roll or spend a benny at any time to instantly get rid of it.
Right, I'll spend a benny now to get rid of it.
Okay.
Do I just drop it in the chat or do I put it somewhere else?
I think how do you soak? Oh, apply it first. So you're shaking. I think you open your character sheet.
Yeah.
And then you see where you've got incapacitated. Shaking, so he's little. Try dragging a benny and dropping it on top of that.
Yay!
Right, so he cuts you and it draws blood just a little bit. It looks worse than it actually is, but you immediately recover yourself. Bastard, he spits at you. Bastard. Right, the wizard unshakes and he calls foul magic and he's like, he targets Bert. Actually, no, it's 1 to 3 Bert and 4 to 6 Lucas because you both attack them. So he targets Bert and he chants and black energy forms around his fingers, Bert, and he casts awful. Right, okay, and you take a bolt damage.
Who does?
You do.
Can I spend a penny to soak it?
Yeah.
How do I do that then?
Wounds -1. You only rolled a 3, so that doesn't do anything to you. It's got to get higher than you see your toughness on your character sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah. The damage roll has to do equal or above your toughness, and he didn't get above your toughness. So the black energy strikes you but does nothing, and he curses. Magnus the Swiftish.
Right. Yes, I cocked up my movement, so I yes, that's where I want to be, and I'm going to.
Well, I'm still there now. You spend bennies and stuff on this, and where we drag them and how we do them and what have you.
I just need to move them up a bit.
The wizard has got a wound, so he is bleeding.
And with a bit of luck, he's going to get another one. Aye. One action with my dagger. I have got him targeted. So I think this is right.
You hit as you whip it out underarm and catch him.
And do I roll damage?
Yeah, you roll your damage now. It's a wound. It's a wound. The wizard takes another. I'm going to have to try and soak because he's not looking well. Not at all. Yeah, he soaks the wound. So you cut him again. He's bleeding now from many places. Blood streaks his white beard. And that is your turn. And Skell finally gets to strike back. It caught the streak tough. Actually, no, this is the first round, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
But he doesn't because he already attacked with his first strike. So we got end of round. It redeals the cards. And Lucas, you have a joker. That means you'll automatically get a +2 to all actions this turn for like doing cold shots to the head and stuff. And you can act now, first, or at any point during the turn.
What was the name of the leader of the Thieves Guild?
Krovas.
I'll say out loud. I'll look past Kreshmar, say Krovas now, and then I'll stab the wizard with my.
You can actually do that to make him distracted.
That's what I'm going to try.
But that will be counted as 2 actions, so you have to take the 2 action penalty. Click the button on the bottom that says 2 actions.
Right. What is the distraction thing? And I will get to roll it twice.
You can use your intimidation or
taunt.
Taunt, yes. So you roll your taunt. Yeah, that's a success. So he's distracted, so he's at -2 on his defenses. Now, how do I make him distracted? Is it under effects? It is. So I drag distracted, and I should drop it on Kreshmar. That's the one you went for, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. So there you go. He is distracted, so you'll get a bonus on certain things, and then you can stab him. But you remember you'll get the -2, but you're getting a +2 for joke.
I'm stabbing the wizard. But I want to do the guy.
You want to distract Kreshmar?
Yeah, and stab the wizard.
And stab the wizard, right? You want to stab Mr. Wizard. Oh Lord! Oh my God! Yeah, that's a hit with a raise. So you.
That'll do it.
That will do it. It obviously worked. Two wounds. I've got 1 Benny left. I'm gonna have to take it, aren't I? I'm gonna have to take it because he's got. I'll use my last Benny. Soak.
I was going to say, can I use a Benny to re-roll the wounds before you soak?
Yeah, he soaks with a 16 roll. Obviously, he's either desperate for life or he's got some dark magic keeping him alive. So how do I work out how many wounds something has, the NPCs? Because in general, right, an NPC is shit. So, right, miraculously, I think you can drag a Benny and drop it onto the wounds if you want.
Right, hang on then.
I
think it's worth a try.
Certainly is.
I dragged it on the wounds, it didn't do anything. So I drag it on the damage.
Yeah, on your character sheet, drag the Benny on your character sheet and drop it on the damage.
I've run out Bennies.
I'll give you that. One, I'll give you that Benny back. There you go. Try dragging it onto the damage. Well, you should have had an extra d6. So that is 13. So that's 2 wounds still, but he still would have soaked it with a 16.
That's fine.
Right, so You cut, and it looks like it's going to go deep, and he's bloody, and he's out of pennies now. Yeah. Kreshmar. You sneaky bastard, he says. And he's distracted, but he will take a swing at you.
I don't mind.
Hit with a raise.
I think I'm going to get hurt here, boys.
2 wounds. Right, he
Nothing
cuts
I
you
do.
deep. You've got no bennies left, have you?
Nope.
Right, so he cuts you deep. He says, see, that's how we do it, you bastard. Right,
I look at him and go,
I hit
you thought I
apply.
was joking about the thief, didn't you?
and on your character sheet, you have now 2 wounds.
Right.
Right. Court.
Alright.
It's your turn. 10 o'clock, son.
Smack my arsehole again.
You could just go to the toilet, but okay.
It's a target ID. So
It's a hit, you clout him on the heat. Roll the damage. It's on the scale. Got 2 wounds. Got individual bennies left. These guys have got penny. Tries to soak. Fails. And he is shaken. Oh, shit. Bert. Bert?
Yeah. I think I should
Fumble!
spend a penny. Can I spend a penny?
Not to do a fumble. You overextend yourself and leave yourself vulnerable. Sugary dogs. But the cat vulnerable. Right. Magnus. It's going horribly wrong for you. Yeah.
It's looking like it, isn't it? Well, I'm gonna have to try and shank this wizard again.
Shank him
I'm
hard,
trying to
brother.
work out how many wounds he's got. Because I know it's a wild card. Does he have 3? It's a hit. He's parry shit, so. Right, he is shaking. And he's out of Benny, so he has to take it.
You know when you make your first attack and you spend a penny to improve the initial attack?
No. You spend a Benny to re-roll, but you fumbled. I think there's a fumble table, but I'm not going to look at it right now. Velas the wizard remains shaken, bleeding, clutching at his side. Oh, bollocks, he bugs. Velas the wizard. Scale using 10 of clubs, quick edge redraw. Nice, it does that automatically as well. Yeah. Gotcha. Velas the wizard is unshaken, and he attempts to cast a bolt again on Bert the cat. I think it's already targeted. He attempts to. He does a spellcasting roll. This fails because of the wounds he's got, so he curses as his spell fizzles. Bert the cat, it's your turn.
I thought I just went.
Well, go again.
It was the end of turn, so it redials the cards. It's
All
not
right.
like D&D where you keep the same initiative. It redials your cards every turn. Shank him. Misses. Now you can spend a penny
Spend a penny.
and
Right.
drop that on your attack on your character sheet, isn't it? That's better.
Nice
That's
one.
better. Go on, stab him.
Oh,
Two
Oh,
wounds and
what?
he's got no fucking... Oh, Lord. Oh, Lord.
it's got to be in the throat, that one.
Incapacitated. So what do you do to it? Velas the wizard there.
Can I kill him?
You can?
I cut his head off with the dagger.
Well, so you grab hold of him and begin sawing to saw his head off.
I'll cut through his back of his spine.
Right. You run around the back of him and cut the back of his head? I'm always confused at your combat. Right, so Skell is shaken and he remains shaken. Oh dear. Kreshmar loads his sword, but into a defensive position. He goes, "We just paid for this. The wizard's dead. We'll get out of here. You know the score, lads."
Sounds good to me.
We'll buy you a pint when we see you next.
Drop your weapons first, though. No, actually, sorry, go. No.
What'd he
turn
say?
round- I'll turn to Court and
He
go.
said, drop your
prob-
weapons.
I'll turn around to Court and go. We probably don't want to press them on that.
Yeah, he's well, whatever he said. I'll get my twin brother Skell and we'll get out of here.
Okay,
The contract's null and void. The patron's dead. So he backs off and grabs hold of his brother who's shaking and like sort of shakes him and goes, "Come on now, pull yourself together, Skell. These boys are the victors in this fight." Right, so the wizard lies bleeding at the floor. Skell and Krishmar beat a hasty retreat.
I'll go through the wizard's pockets.
You know, just out of character, in Lankhmar, reputation is everything, right?
It is, yes.
I'll turn around and go, got an idea, boys. I'll rip a bit of the wizard's robe off to staunch my bleeding. And
Yeah.
then after he's been searched, someone grab the skull, and then the other three of us will grab the wizard and we'll take him to the pub.
You're going to weekend at
I'll-
Bernie's the guy.
Yeah.
I'll tie the skull back up in the corner of my cloak after I've searched the wizard.
Right, so you tie the skull back in the corner of your cloak. It doesn't do anything untoward. And whatever the hell you do with the wizard,
We're gonna go back to the ale and we're gonna drag the wizard with us.
Has he got any house keys?
his head has been partially sawed off. As Little Bert, in his frenzy, attempted to decapitate him with a dagger, realised that he couldn't, and then just started sawing at him as if he was some sort of woodworking tool.
I'll be like, Bert, he's dead, Bert. Bert, he's dead. He is dead, Bert. He is very dead, Bert.
Bert's kneeling on his chest going, "I kill you, I kill you, I fucking kill you."
They're all dead, Bert. Bert, they're dead. They're all dead, Bert.
I hope the wizard's got a few coins so we can drag the wizard into the pub and just drop the coins on the bar and go, he's buying the round.
Good
Yeah,
idea.
the wizard has a couple of gold rolks and around 12 silver smurdocks on him. So you relieve him of his coin purse and head back to the Silver Ale.
Aye.
Yeah.
Carrying a dead, partially decapitated wizard with you.
Yeah. There shouldn't be any more blood by the time we get there.
Right, you'll either get trail down the main streets of Lankhmar, and as you arrive back at the Silver Ale, the bouncer's like, "I'm sorry, boys, you can't bring corpses in here. If you dump them around the back, the corpse cleaners will come round in the morning and take them away. Unless
I'll
the
turn around
girls
and
get them, like."
I'll turn around and say, "Oh, go on, it'll be a really good joke.
He says it will be a very funny joke, but it's more than my job's worth.
There'll be a few drinks in it for you."
He says I can't I can't. His nibs indoors, son. He'll have my hide if I let people drag dead bodies in.
All right,
He's
good
not
point.
He says,
really
Mr.
dead, he's
Crowvass
just
is
sleepy.
awaiting for you at your convenience, however, inside.
All right, okay. In that case, we'll go to the window with the corpse.
We'll hold him up and wave.
We'll hold the corpse.
So
We'll
you're
wave.
like holding the arm and doing.
I'll knock on the window with the arm. In the other hand, and I'll wave the arm, and then we'll dump them.
And then you dump them in the battery for the rats and the corpse collectors.
And we'll head into the pub.
You head inside. Crowvass bids you sit down with a wave of his hand.
Before I do that, I'll throw the guy's purse in the bar and go, drinks for everyone till it runs out.
There's a great drunken cheer as it is the early hours of the morning, and everybody slaps you on the back and they're like, he's the lad.
Ow! Ow!
Ow, ow, as there's blood running down the inside of your cloak. He says, Grover says, you did well, boys, you did well.
He tripped.
Yes, I can see that. He says, I'm sorry I had to beat a hasty retreat because we can't have the Thieves Guild associating with sorcerers. Foul black magic. I'm sure you understand. I'm sure a 20 gold rilk each bonus will help you understand.
I understand just fine, boss.
Not a problem.
He slides a large pouch underneath. He goes, what happened to the skull then?
Oh, it's.
The wizard
I'll
get it?
go. As I unwrap it from the corner of my cloak, I'll go, oh, it's here, and just stick it on the table right in front of him.
Everybody sort of goes as they look back. Make a notice roll.
Oh, I get a bonus on this.
Hang on. What is roll?
Yeah, you get a penalty for your wounds though. Look, with all the
It's
notice roll.
Bert on it.
Bert's on it. Everybody else succeeds. Bert
Fuck me, God.
caught the
Notice
closest
my-
one. Caught, and Bert, you hear at the back somebody whispered, it's the skull of the 7 black priests serving at the bones of the old ones. Yeah, and Magnus and Lucas, you hear a witness nearby go, oh my God, what is that foul thing? Grover says, you better put that away, lads.
I'll stick a tea towel over it.
Yeah. So, as the night draws to a close, Crovers excuses himself. He's got a guild to run after all. He says, if I were you, I'd get rid of that foul thing.
Thought it was yours.
Well, it was, but it's quite hot now. Do you want me to dispose of it?
Is it worth anything?
It's not. No. I only wanted it back to blackmail the wizard with, but sadly, it appears that he's no longer vulnerable to blackmailing.
Well, he wouldn't put much of an argument.
He's vulnerable to fucking daggers, we know that.
What did he say?
He says he's vulnerable to daggers.
I mean, basically, you can talk normally at the party, but obviously they'll have to translate.
Yeah.
What did he say?
He says he's vulnerable to daggers. He's such a fucking joker.
Yeah, you're a funny man. He says, well, I really have no need of this cursed thing now that the mage is no longer with us for blackmailing, so I can take it or you can take it, whichever.
Maybe the Mages Guild would like to buy it.
Aye, we should take it, I think. There's bound to be a coin in it somewhere.
This is an interesting conversation. We were walking down the street murdering a random sorcerer, and we have this scully ad. Is it worth anything to you guys? And please don't turn us into frogs.
So Crovers takes his leave, and as you sit round a black skull under a tea towel in the Silver Ales in the early hours of the morning, drinking wine. You wonder what threads of adventure might follow from this. Well
Hailing
done.
woman, probably.
Hey.
Hey.
About 12 stitches.
About 12 stitches. So you have won. That adventure was called Triple Cross. Turns enough.
Rich, can I go to the bar, put a couple of rules down, and tell the barman if what is it, scale and what you call it comes in, but buy easy drinks for them.
He says, you lot of flash and you throwing your gold about. They'll be legless on that. It's Skellen Court. He says, I'll pass my regards on. The gentlemen do call in several times a week.